Hey everyone, and welcome back. So let's just dive right into this. Because today we are unpacking a highly requested and honestly incredibly important topic. With tens of thousands of devotees visiting every single day, it's one of the busiest pilgrimage sites on the entire planet. And look, navigating the massive crowds and the complex ticketing systems in Tirumala, it can feel absolutely overwhelming. But hey, don't worry, because today we are walking through the comprehensive 2026 for mastering the Tirupati Balaji temple system. We're breaking down the exact source data and the absolute latest updates so you can just focus on your spiritual journey and totally skip the logistical stress.
Here is what we're looking at today. First, a welcome to Tirupati Balaji. Then we'll decode the free SSD tokens process, followed by the 300 rupees special entry option. After that, we'll map out the key token counter locations and wrap everything up with some essential rules and tips. All right, Section 1. Welcome to Tirupati Balaji and navigating the 2026 updates.
Picture this. You step off your train or bus. The spiritual energy in the air is just palpable. But honestly, so is the immense scale of the crowd around you. Without a clear, actionable plan, that beautiful arrival can really quickly turn into just pure confusion. Now, the absolute crucial point to remember here is the year, 2026. The Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams, the TTD, they frequently update their guidelines, especially when it comes to crowd control. What might have worked 2 years ago could literally leave you stranded in a line for hours today. So having this specific, up-to-date intelligence is for sure your biggest advantage.
Every single traveler arriving at Tirupati faces a major fork in the road. You essentially have two main pathways for Darshan. On one side, you've got the free SSD tokens, which is a fantastic, super budget-friendly option managed directly by the temple. And then, on the other side, you have the 300 rupee special entry. That's a paid path that basically allows for much more advanced planning. Understanding the core difference between these two, that is the foundational key to your entire trip.
Moving right along to Section 2, the free SSD tokens process and securing your slotted Sarva Darshan.
Now, if you are a total novice to the Tirupati system, you're going to want to write this down. SSD stands for Slotted Sarva Darshan. It is a completely free system implemented by the TTD to gracefully manage those incredible crowds. Instead of standing in a physical, miles-long line for 2 days straight, you are actually given a token with a very specific time window. You just show up at that exact window, which drastically cuts down your actual wait time. Honestly, it's a pretty ingenious crowd management tool. So how do you actually get one of these tokens? Well, the offline process is beautifully structured into 3 simple steps. Step 1. You physically locate a token distribution center in Tirupati. Step 2. And listen, this is completely non-negotiable. You must present mandatory original ID proof. Let me be clear. Showing a picture of your Aadhaar card on your cracked smartphone screen will simply not work. And then Step 3. Once your original ID is officially scanned and a quick photo is taken, you receive your physical token featuring your specific slotted entry time.
However, there is a really vital caveat to this whole process. Timing is absolutely everything here. Token distribution isn't just a 24/7 free-for-all. It happens at very specific times. During the peak seasons, particularly the sweltering and just massive summer rush, the TTD has to make dynamic decisions to manage the surge of people. Those quotas can fill up fast. So, actively monitoring the local schedules the minute you arrive is totally critical.
All right, on to Section 3, the 300 rupees special entry, or as it's often known, the planned traveler's choice.
For exactly 300 rupees per person, this special entry darshan provides immense peace of mind. It cements your specific date and time slot well in advance, which basically allows you to organize all your transit and your hotel accommodation around a fixed, guaranteed appointment.
To actually secure this 300 rupee ticket, you've got 2 distinct avenues, online versus offline. Now, the online booking is highly competitive and opens up months in advance on the official TTD portal. You really have to be quick. The offline avenue involves checking for specific quotas or dynamic releases once you physically reach Tirupati or through affiliated centers. But honestly, online is absolutely the most recommended path if you really want to plan ahead.
Which brings us to Section 4, Key Token Counter Locations and exactly where to go on arrival.
Now, let me give you a quick local tip. This is probably the most essential traveler question, right? Where exactly are these token counters even located? You've got your bags, you're exhausted from the journey, and you just want to secure your Darshan slot before finally getting some rest. So let's look at the exact waypoints the TTD has strategically set up for you.
The TTD has smartly placed these distribution centers exactly where you're going to arrive. First, right at the Tirupati railway station SSD counter. If you arrive by train, you can essentially get in line for a token before you even leave the station premises. Second, the bus stand token centers cater in the exact same way to road travelers. And finally, the Srinivasam complex is a massive, incredibly well-known hub for grabbing these tokens. Knowing just these 3 locations means you won't waste any precious time wandering around the city.
Finally, Section 5, Essential Rules and Tips for Preparing for a Peaceful Visit.
Because look, securing your ticket is really only half the battle. Let's dive into these strict requirements because frankly, they are absolute deal breakers. Number 1, bring your original, valid ID proof. Like we mentioned, forgetting your physical ID can completely ruin the entire process. Next, you have to follow the strict traditional dress guidelines, meaning dhotis or kurtas for men and saris or salwars for women. The temple authorities are very, very strict about this to maintain the sanctity of the space. Also, be mentally prepared for extreme summer crowd management and the sweltering heat. Patience is definitely a virtue here. And finally, beware of unauthorized ticket scams. Never ever buy tickets from a random person on the street. They simply will not work.
To completely protect yourself from those scams and to get the most accurate, real-time data, always rely on official and verified channels. The source material highlights platforms like TirupatiTurmalaInfo.com for authentic Sarva Darshan updates. Literally just bookmark it on your phone right now. Always verify any local information against official releases so you aren't led astray by some outdated rumors.
Well, we've armed you with the structure, the exact locations, and the essential rules. You now totally understand the split between those free SSD tokens and the 300 rupee entry. So with your ticket strategy securely chosen and your original ID packed and ready to go, how will you experience the profound peace of Tirupati Balaji? And hey, safe travels out there. Thank you so much